Hello, and thank you for joining our Tweetcast today with Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. My name is McLear. I'll be hosting this for the next 30 minutes or so. We've been taking your questions for the last 24 hours, and we've had hundreds, if not thousands, of questions from the governor's 1.8 million followers. We're going to go through some of those and also go through some of these right here that are coming up as we talk. So we'll get through as many as we can. And with that, Governor, you want to talk a little bit about why we're doing this and how you interact with Twitter?
Well, because every so often we want to have fun. I think that's we always tweet, as you know, when there's something exciting going on, and I think it's a good way of communicating with the people, because so many times we do this kind of political talk here, and sometimes I think one forgets to talk to the average folks out there that have concerns about different things, and that sometimes have personal questions, sometimes they have business questions, sometimes they're political questions, and all kinds of things. I mean, you know the kind of things that we see in the kind of letters that we get. So this gives us a chance of communicating basically in a very casual way. And of course, the media that is watching that, they're going to look for every little word that is maybe newsworthy. So they have their own agenda. But I mean, this is basically just for the ordinary people out there that just are good, hardworking people, and that are fun people, that are taxpayers, and that also have a big interest in making the state go in the right direction.
And the direction it's heading is going to be found out in a couple of weeks with the election. A lot of folks had questions about the election, particularly about who's going to replace you. Now you're going to sit down with the two nominees in a couple of weeks at Maria's Women's Conference, and one person asked about that the next governor. This is from Mike Watson. What do you have to say to the next governor of California?
Well, first of all, I'm looking forward next week, actually, not in a couple of weeks, next week already, at the Women's Conference on Tuesday. We will have a discussion with Matt Lauer, who will be, doing a little discussion with Mick Whitman, with Jerry Brown, and myself. And we will have all three of us sitting there together and talking about the challenges of the future of the state of California and about the work. And, I think that the most important thing is that whoever gets into this office creates continuity and continues on with the things that we have done. And then, of course, they have their own plans also. But I think it's important that we continue building our infrastructure and building our roads and fixing our levees, building more schools and university buildings and affordable housing and so on. And that we pass the water bond, which is in 2012 on the ballot, because I think that governors have the responsibility of looking way out there in the future and not just thinking about fixing problems of today. You have to do that, but you also have to understand that if you want to redo our water infrastructure, that to build the dams or to fix the delta or to build a canal, all of this would take at least 10 to 15 years. So therefore, you have to start planning now so that we have enough water in the future, because our population is growing all the time and our water system is really only for 18, 20 million people. But in the meantime, we are 38 million, and down the line, we eventually will be 45 or 50 million people. So this is why to continue on with that infrastructure, because infrastructure is so important to live up to our potential, economic potential, how fast we move people and goods around and so on, how much water we have, how fast we can deliver this, to make sure that we have enough electricity, that we always, work on our renewable energy, our 33% goal that we have for 2020. So someone has to follow through with that also. Our environmental progress that we've made, reducing our greenhouse gases, someone has to follow through with that and continue on, because consistency, especially with environmental laws, is so important, because people pour billions and billions of dollars into California and venture capital in investing in green technology. So if all of a sudden we change the laws and go in a different direction, that will have a tremendous impact on those investors and how much money will come to California. So there's a lot of different things. So I think consistency is important in law enforcement and all of the prisons and all of those kind of things.
We've had just a couple of international questions up here, and I know of your 1.8 million followers, a number of them are from international places. Relentless was just up here a couple of minutes ago asking what was it like meeting Prime Minister David Cameron, and also Juan Pablo N. from 32 seconds ago asks, could you please send some greetings to him from Mexico? Now, you've been doing a lot of international travel lately. Can you talk about why you do that and why it's important?
Well, first of all, let me just say that it was great to see again Cameron, Prime Minister Cameron in London. He, of course, and I have been friends for quite some time. He's come to visit me here in Sacramento, and so it was about time that I go over there and visit him as Prime Minister. I visited him before he was Prime Minister. And so, I think we're kind of like soulmates in a way, because we believe in the same things. And, in the balance between, protecting the environment and protecting the economy, and also living within our means and trying to do that when you have the big spenders all around you that have been promising things to the people, and you know that you can't deliver those promises. So to kind of cut back and try to be fiscally responsible. He's going through some real difficult and challenging times right now, because he has inherited a big mess, just like the mess that I've inherited in 2003. And so he's dealing with the same thing. And, we had conversations about that, talked a lot about it, how challenging it is to do that, especially to try to do it in a short period of time like he does. And also he has a 5-year plan. And, we have seen right here the difficulty we had, that we came in here and there was a huge deficit. And we are going to leave the office and hand over to the next governor a deficit, because we were hit by the economic crisis also at the same time. And also because, we didn't get the reforms that we had planned early on. We got the reforms now in this last budget negotiation, the budget reform, the rainy day fund, and the pension reform, in order to reduce our debt by $100 billion. All of this was done just now, literally a few weeks ago, rather than the first year when I came in. So, but those things are tough to fight. There's a lot of people that think differently. And so it took many years to get it there, but we finally got it done, and the next governor will benefit from that. And the same is going to be true with Cameron. He's going to, have a big battle in his hand. But also the great thing about that last trip was to meet again with President Medvedev of Russia, and to go with them, bring this the trade delegation, bring these leaders from Silicon Valley to Moscow, and to help them to create also a Silicon Valley, and to start getting into the high technology and other technologies, green technology, hopefully, and so on. So they don't, just count so much on oil and on natural gas and some of the other minerals, uranium and so on and so forth, but to diversify the economy. So we are very happy to help them with this diversification and with their plan, because that means that we can go and sell a lot of our goods to Russia, and at the same time that means creating jobs here and stimulating the economy. And that's why, as you know, I like so much trips to go to foreign countries and do trade missions, because we have approximately $125 billion we are exporting. So if we just can improve that by 20%, that's like $25 billion. And that's a lot of jobs. That's a lot of, revenues coming into the state. So I think that to look at the world as the global marketplace for us, for California, and we have the best products, I think it is so important. So that's why I like trade missions. I had a great time with President Medvedev. And what I really liked was that he gave me a little bit of glimpse of his personal life, a little bit, to just see the gymnasium that he has there at his residency, and where he works out, and to see the latest of the machines, and his great enthusiasm for working out, and then going on this little trip on his personal car, which was like a 1950s Russian car, which looked very much kind of like the American, the old cars, the 50s cars and so on. But it was great to see him having so much joy with those kind of things, but at the same time being very intense about rebuilding the economy and reforming Russia and getting rid of the crime, the corruption, and all those kind of things. So it was a really interesting and great and educational trip.
That's great.